Welcome, dear viewers, to a new episode of Dialogue Horizon. In this episode, we are going definitely to cover a very important event which will convene immediately after the Ramadan break on the 17th and 18th of May in Paris, which is hopefully is the first step towards the delivering of the economy of the country from the possible or probable collapse. It's a very important event to Sudan. People should be aware of the importance of this event and this meeting in Paris, which has to do directly with the ailing economy of the country these days. Also, at the end of the episode, we will cover a little bit, we'll touch on the issue of the conflict which is now rising between the three countries, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt, on the issue of the Grand Renaissance, Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. So I'm very happy to host in this episode our friend, Dr. Samani Hanoun. He's known to us as apart from being a doctor, in an associate, actually assistant professor in economics in general, but also he's is an activist in social affairs, and even in the revolution he played important roles in this revolution. So welcome, Dr. Samani Hanoum, in this episode, this important episode. We hope to cover as much as we can on this important issue.
Thank you so much for this special moment to share discussion on the Paris conference as a good way for recovering national economy in Sudan. And I am happy to extend a special greeting to the viewers of Dialogue Horizon after relatively long absence due to some reason actually beyond my control. I am happy to join again, and especially in this very strategic episode on the Paris conference, which will be held on 18 and 19 May, especially to relieve debt and also to create a new climate, a new environment for attracting foreign direct investment to Sudan. And this is a very great event to the Sudanese people, removing the debt burden, which amounted to about 60 billion, is not an easy job. Actually, that will result in profound impact on national economy and especially at the national level. So by all means, this is a very great event that will have consequences on the position of Sudan economy. Needless to repeat, the current position and deteriorated position in the economy, especially very hyperinflation in the economy, the highly volatile and fluctuating exchange rate in the economy, the unprecedented level of unemployment in the economy, the slowdown in the GDP in the economy due to package of reasons. So that is special conference held in Paris according to the prescribed timetable will result on profound impact to recover the economy and to retrack the economy into development and hope in the near future.
Okay. Having said you said timetable, which means agenda.
Yeah.
Because this meeting is in two days, on the 17th and 18th of May. So do you have any? Can you just give us a broad idea about the agenda? What are the agenda?
The main agenda, the debt relief according to the HIPEC, the highly indebted poor country. And this is an initiative. And actually, this very strategic conference initiated by France and supported by the US and other the Paris Club. This including wide range of European and American countries, including UK, the USA, including France and Switzerland and NAMSA and alike. A few examples examples of the European countries involved in Paris Club. So that will removing debts or relief.
So the first step is
debt
either
relief.
removing completely the debt or reducing.
At least 40%, according to this initial estimates, 40% of the debt will be relieved.
But we heard that. Well, no, I'm not sure whether it's right or wrong. I heard that the IMF and the World Bank, they recommended to the international institutions that Sudan now is qualified to be eligible for
definitely
the HIPIC, which is the program of the United Nations, heavily indebted poor countries. This is the HIPIC. This is. So is it true that already the World Bank and the IMF, they did recommend?
Yeah, for sure. The World Bank and the IMF, they release a recommendation Sudan is qualified for removing or debt relief according to the HAPIC initiative, highly indebted poor countries. And this is a program including most of countries like Somalia, other developing countries in the area, and Sudan part of that country. So the World Bank and the IMF, they release a recommendation that the Sudan now is qualified after the restructuring or reforming the economy. The recent structural program in Sudan resulted in this recommendation by IMF and the World Bank. So accordingly, we expected that about 40% of the debt burden will be removed by the Paris conference. And that actually represents a practical step towards removing all debts, which is amounted about 60 billion that created obstacles and difficulties for development or for attracting funds for financing development project in Sudan.
So as far as I know, one of the important prerequisites of eligibility to HIPIC is what are you going to do with the poor? People below poverty. Now Sudan people below poverty, I think about 64 or 65, very high, very high rate.
Yeah.
So one of the prerequisites is what is the government, what are the plans of the government to alleviate and reduce the poverty and bring back the poverty line to 20, say, or 17%.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied, happy that the government is doing enough in this?
No, it is not enough. Actually, now the government should do more programs in order to alleviate poverty and to reduce the poverty in the economy, because this program and initiative primarily directed to support the poor nations, the poor people. Yes. So poverty represents a prime objective for supporting people. Now poverty in Sudan rose dramatically during the last few months because of the removing subsidy in the economy and also floating the exchange rate in the economy. So the rate of the poverty increased dramatically in the economy. Now more than 70% of people below the poverty line. And that's what enforced the European Union to direct about support through Samarat programs. About 80% of people, of Sudanese people, are classified under poverty line. So I think by all means Sudan should design a strategy to alleviate poverty in the economy, because this program is especially designed to back the government and the people in the poor country. So the government should design and make a Samarat program is not enough to eradicate poverty. Investment should be increased in the economy, and employment should be increased in the economy.
So it is very important, because while we are talking, we are watching something which is good. It gives satisfaction. I personally, I feel very happy and satisfied. Elevate the prices are very high. But when you see in the streets the displaying of fruits, vegetables, and when you go to the groceries, everything is available. Food is available. So this is something a little bit appeasing. It is a little bit good. Now if you see, the groceries, wherever you go, you find edible oils, you find the eggs, the edible eggs, you find the everything available.
One against of the the reforming the economy, they solve the scarcity in the economy. And now there is
Now
a
there is no
relative
scarcity.
abundance. Yeah, you
Now
see,
there's
what we remain with one problem. What is the problem? Inflation.
Inflation.
So government should work very
Should
hard
work on the-
and design strategies especially to address inflation in the economy. By this program, the government succeed to remove scarcity. Scarcity, one of the problems always facing the economy. Now you see that the production is available, but prices are so high. So the government, especially central bank, and the Ministry of Finance, they should work collaboratively to lower the inflation and the prices in the economy. Central bank in middle, I again repeat it, central bank should play greater role on controlling inflation in the economy. This is the only problem now facing the government.
How can the central bank control it?
We design many alternatives how to reduce inflation in the economy. First of all, central bank should study the root causes of inflation. There are more than 10 root causes of the inflation. One or two new reasons behind inflation, the sanctions that create inflation and scarcity in the economy. Now the government left from sanction, American sanction, the economic crime. Now in Sudan, one of the root causes of the inflation in the economy, the crime, economic crime by the scanning currency and forgery of currency. So the central bank should control these problems, and the only institution that can control inflation, the central bank. So central bank should design a special strategy to address inflation in the economy. Now if the government succeed to control the inflation to only one character in the economy, that will result in limited positive consequences in the economy, especially during this very bullish environment and very good environment. Today, Sudan is going to accept foreign direct investment. Sudan is going to remove debt, about 60 billion. This is big news, and this will have definitely impact on the economy and improvement and improvement of the standard of living for the poor people in the economy.
So as an economist,
Yeah.
I'm an engineer, but as an economist, I think to you, it is something good. Although sometimes you as economist,
Yeah.
you tie a scarcity with prices going up because of scarcity.
Yeah.
Now we have abundance.
Yeah,
Almost everything we have seen in the pictures.
yeah,
Abundance. Everything is in abundance. Is
Yeah.
abundance.
Yes.
Fruits, vegetables.
Yes.
Oils.
Yeah.
Everything. Groceries.
Yeah.
Supermarkets. Big malls are full of commodities.
products. Yeah,
Prices are very high.
Yeah.
So this is something in
Something,
the
yeah,
economy.
unique, yeah.
Something unique.
yeah. So you
No scarcity and high prices.
Yeah, you need to study the causes of inflation. There are so many reasons for inflation actually. If you make the accurate diagnosis of the inflations and causes of inflation, then you can immediately get answer in the economy. Otherwise, you will have some very low or relatively low impacts on the economy. So first step, you have to study the root causes of inflation, whether scanning of currency like forgery, printing more currencies by government in the economy, demand, inflation, and sanction. About
Money outside
money
the-
outside
outside.
the
So I need currency
circulation.
outside the-
Yes, money, 90% of money in the hand of public. So you have to retract by changing the currency. We retract money to, and we several times we urge for changing currency in order to retract money to the banking system. And about 90% outside the control of central bank. So central bank cannot control or develop monetary policies that address inflation in the economy. By addressing inflation, this is the root causes today, and the main problem encounter the transitional period. So we have to lower the prices in market. When we study for example, causes, and we discover that scanning and forgery of currency is one, so the security should also develop the laws and legislation that restrict the forgery and scanning of currency in the economy. If we discover that the root causes of the strong demand, then we have to increase the supply side in order to match the demand. A technical monetary policy should be addressed. Again, I repeat the central position of central bank to recover the economy. The banker and central banker should address such problem, and especially at this time, critical time in Sudan. They have to develop monetary policies that address inflation in the economy, that also stimulate the aggregate output in the economy by increasing the demand for goods and service, by controlling inflation, by creating new jobs, by controlling volatility and changes in market. These are core functions for any central
Okay,
bankers.
okay, doctor. So,
Yes.
because as you know, in Ramadan we have a
Yes.
have a short time, so we have to go quickly on the issues which maybe the viewers are they wanted to
hear about
it.
Yes.
Now we talk that definitely we are saying that the meetings will recommend and will go in the trend of reducing or completely revoking
debt.
the external debt,
Yeah.
or reduce it to a considerable, plus the other issue, which is the investors, to attract the investors.
Yeah.
How is our delegation, which will go, is prepared and qualified to attract investors? I mean, do they have projects? Do you have recommendation for project? Do you have proposal for project, or they will go empty-handed? As far as I know, they are prepared. They are not empty-handed. They have some in
definitely.
telecommunication, in infrastructure. Can you tell us about
Definitely.
what was prepared?
This special committee is sponsored by the Prime Minister himself. And I go through many meetings held during the last few days in order to go to this conference well prepared. And that is to prepare some project in infrastructure, for example, in agriculture, in industry, in service. So they prepare project, especially in agricultural sector, in railway development, in airport, and animal resources, and digital transformation.
Infrastructure
And I
is very
think,
important.
yeah, the most important now for Sudan to invest in the digital transformation. That will save the cost of the development and will save the time for development, and also will maximize gains. And you know that Sudan is a large country. You need to use technology in order to control the resources in the economy. So this special conference will help the Ministry of Telecommunications and digital transformation to get benefit of the advanced technology in Europe and the US, and they can use in the management of the country.
So do you mean by digital? Because many viewers, they don't know digital transfer. You want to go for digital. As far as I know, digital transactions.
Yeah.
You don't have to carry money. I have seen in China, I have seen in America. If you carry money, when you to come to the cashier, and you bring out your wallet, and they will look at you when you're paying cash.
So by digital or digitalizations of the business, we mean that we track money to the banking system, and also will give power to the monetary policy. When we put all money under control of central bank, then we can easily develop monetary policy to address inflation, to exchange rate, to create job in the economy. These are routine job, and by relaxing the assumptions of Islamic banking and creating dual banking system in the economy, it is a must to have this digital system.
So we already started some, because some of the banks, they started introducing some applications like Bangkok, like
IBAN, the international code.
So now this reduce the writing of checks, and
it saves the time and the effort and cost. This is a technology. If we were implementing technology in banking sector, we can also serve the poor people everywhere. Let us make technology work for poor people in Sudan.
Okay.
This will be our slogan.
That is very good.
Yes.
Okay. After this, which is something very, very important about the multinational companies, the investors. This should be part and parcel of because no government is prepared in the capitalist world like America, Europe. No government will get involved in projects in any country.
Private.
They opt for their multinational companies to go for investment in the areas which you already mentioned, like this.
Yes.
So do you think that this multinational companies will be interested, will be encouraged?
What is the qualitative change in this special conference? The role of private sector. Now they mentioned very clear that they will share a partnership with the private sector, and private sector will play a greater role in the future. Why? For package of reasons. Needless to repeat that the public sector in Sudan is disqualified for very long history of corruption. Now the private sector should play greater role, especially in this international conference. In Paris, we expect that the partnership between the Sudanese private sectors and the counterpart, European and American, will be signed in order to rush more money to the investment in the different sectors in the economy. Multinational companies are there, so also will share the pie and will play greater role in the development. So what is important that the role of the private sector will be enhanced. What we are worried about in this transitional government, there are so many pro-socialists. They don't believe in private sector. They believe in public sector. So that contradiction will again create problem. Unless we go straight with the line of the capitalism, we cannot hunt the maximum benefit.
Yes.
And you know, Sudan is a very rich country with huge resources, can benefit from the capitalism because they can lead the economy in different sectors, in different areas. So we increase the capital in country by investing in agriculture, in industry, in service. We have wide range of absolute advantage. And in market economy especially, we can hunt many advantage. So I think the private sector will play greater role in the future by this partnership with the US and the European companies. So we have to revise the regulations in order to give more freedom.
To enhance, I will say something to enhance your argument.
Yeah.
This is a very sound argument. We have to go all the way in the capitalist road with the in Paris.
Yeah.
You cannot go inside in between in the gray area.
Yeah.
You either fully lean to
Yes.
this system. To enhance your argument, China, I have seen China many times.
Yeah.
China now the business is booming.
Yeah.
China is now the GDP of China is almost #1.
Yes.
Because they gave room to the private sector.
Private sector, yeah.
Although China was
Yeah.
a communist,
Yeah, they are
100%
not
communist.
parasite nor brokers.
But
not
now there are
Yes.
one of the multi-billionaires
Yes.
in the world are
Yes.
Chinese.
But let us go back and take example by figure. How much Sudan receive from socialist country? Nothing.
Nothing.
You have about only 15 million received from Russia. Other socialist country will not extend money. Capitalist country will give money.
Through their companies.
Yeah,
yes.
through their companies, through the
companies.
capital.
Yes.
This is very important. You need a development, you need capital. From where you get capital? Socialists will never give capital.
So you have to go all the way. You cannot go in between. You have to take,
Yeah.
you have to take
Our
either
advice, go ahead straight.
Okay.
Yes.
In this meeting, also in the club, there are 13 countries outside, not in Paris
the
club.
France, yeah.
I think they will follow suit. Do you think they will? If the Paris meeting they decided to
Yeah.
reduce or to cut off or to revoke completely, are they going to follow suit?
They follow the leader actually.
Okay.
When the other Muslim financial institution like the European Investment Bank, last Chinese bank, extended a special loan to Sudan, especially in Chinese loan. We recommend strongly to make investigation about the corruption in this loan. Before settlement of this loan, the dismantling committee should investigate about the uses of funds received from China for development.
Yes.
Because there are some very strong arguments there is abuse for this fund and loans received from China to development in Sudan. So before a settlement or relieving, you need also to know in these private loans where they spend this money. There are some individuals might benefit from these loans. So investigations about corruptions is important, at least to recover some
recover, yes.
money to the public interest.
Okay, Dr. Shamani Hanoun, what about the important issue for these people to come, the Investment Act? Of course, you are following it.
Yeah.
I think the delegation of Sudan will carry the draft or the newly approved or adopted Investment Act. How do you think this act will be encouraging to the investors?
Investment Encouragement Act is a must and creating what we call appealing climate. for investment is important. And this is a multidimensional process. It is not only an act issued by Ministry of Investment. It is a multidimensional process. You have to create conducive internal environment for investor. Let us take the example of land ownership in Sudan. Who is the owner of land? Government, the tribes, the individuals who own the land. And you know, land is the force factors of production. You cannot increase production in the economy unless you organize the ownership of the land, and land to be accessible to the investor in the economy. You know the factors of production: land, labor, entrepreneur, and capital. So unless you deal with the land and make very sounding laws that make land accessible to the investors, you wouldn't increase GDP in the economy.
It's one of the hurdles, yes, I agree.
Yeah, that is one of the problems. So I think in order to increase what we describe it as appealing climate for investment is important. Now you have to remove the administrative hurdles inside the bureaucracy. You know, you have very disqualified public sector in Sudan and very corrupt public sector. So you need also to remove this and to make reform to the civil service. Yeah, that is very important in order to make a climate appealing to the investment. All these partners should play very important role to attract investors. Foreign direct investment is a component number 2 of GDP. You have consumption plus investment plus government purchases plus X minus M. So investment, I, is a very important for GDP in the economy, how we can increase output in the economy. Unless we invest, how we can invest unless we have to make access to the factors of production, to the land, to the capital, to the technology, to make it available to the investors in the economy. So some general reform to the civil service and to the ownership of the land, and these very important and strategic factors are a step forward to attract foreign direct investment to the Sudan.
So that's very good, very good and very clear. And it seems that you are all for private sector.
Yeah, definitely.
What is the equation? Can you give us just the ideal equation for the partnership between private sector and public sector? For certain areas that should be controlled by the public sector.
Yeah, I strongly recommend the hybrid form, local cum foreign. In any position, we need some part local and other part foreigners. This is called hybrid form. And beside that, we need 50 government and 50 private sector. This partnership in decision making, whether on the ministries, whether at the federal level, should private sector play 50% of the decision-making process.
Only 50?
For time being. For time being. In the future, we can advance it. When we get the gains from investing or private sector, then we have to increase the contribution of private sector against public sector and make gradual removal for public sector. Because public sector for 60 years failed to realize development in Sudan. This is why we strongly to change the paradigm and the strategy for development, to rely on private sector plus the people contribution, what we call the community participation in development. This is new development approach. We totally neglected the public sector. Public sector cannot realize development in Sudan even we wait 60 years for.
What about the partners who are coming from outside, the companies? Yeah. Do they prefer the private sector or the public sector?
They prefer private, definitely. All investment come from outside. They private. They go private, not public. So if you want to increase the inflow of foreign direct investment...
Another issue. What about the boot system?
Yeah.
Boot
for investment.
You give a company. Let us say a company comes to rehabilitate the Jazeera project. On certain terms. Yes. Boot, they will build, rehabilitate, they build. Operate. Build, own.
Yes.
And operate and transfer after, say, 20 years. Is it applicable? Is it good?
This is applicable, and you have, economics is the science of alternative. You have many alternatives, not boot. Other alternatives are available. For example, merger and acquisition. Merger and acquisition.
What is it?
These are either foreign firm can merge with existing firm. Let us say one firm working in agriculture can join with the foreign firms through capital market. They go to the market and they sell part of the shares to the foreign, because this is called acquisition or merger. There are some regulations in the stock market through which they can transfer ownership of the shares to the foreigners. This is very important. This is why we are asking to build also the market in the economy. You cannot attract the investment unless you build the market. Also here are very important, because foreigners cannot go direct to the economy unless they go through these channels. One very important in this type of economy to build the financial market. Stock market, people when they come from outside and they want to do business in Sudan, how they go? Do they go directly to Jazeera scheme? No, definitely. They have to go through procedures.
So, but I think we have a stock market here.
A stock market very humble. Stock
Very humble.
market, yeah,
It's not-
and very shallow. Shallow and humble.
Okay.
Very, very humble.
So you have to
market.
improve what is.
Yeah, we have to sign, agree with, for example, the Securities and Exchange
Big-
in the
the
US.
big NASDAQ
Yeah, we
or-
have to sign with Chicago Board of Trade, like Ethiopia did in the Cauca markets. And we have to sign agreement with the American stock market, like Wall Street, like in order to accelerate the financial market in the economy. This humble market cannot transfer capital because, you know, in investment, you need to have very sounding financial market in order through which the investor can involve in merger and acquisition. If they were planning to go to Jazeera scheme, they have to go through the either directly to start from scratch or to join existing firm. So this is need a well-functioning markets in the economy in order to transfer ownership of the shares in the
So
economy.
this is a very new point that
Yes.
the
For investment.
stock market should be built by, or at least in combination with America. Let us say,
Yeah,
now
we
we are
have to
open
sign.
to America. America
Yeah.
is helping the country.
Yes.
Is genuinely, actually, America
Yeah.
is genuinely
Yes.
helping Sudan.
Yes,
And by
especially
the way, so America was the first country
Yeah.
to recognize the independence of Sudan.
Yeah.
Many people don't know this.
Yeah.
The first country in
Yes.
the world to recognize the independence of Sudan
Yes.
was America. That's why America, since that time,
Yeah.
is focusing on Sudan
Yeah.
because America, they know the resources of Sudan, they know the strategic location of Sudan. So we have to join these
yeah,
Americans
yes.
so that we can build our country.
Especially in stock exchange, we have to get the experience of the US.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to transfer.
We have one last question. As now
Yeah.
time, as I told you that time is almost all
Yes,
short. We have
exhausted
few
now.
minutes.
Yeah.
About the Renaissance Dam, the GERD,
Yeah.
the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Now the government is going in escalating the issue
Yeah.
of maybe going all the way to suing
Yeah.
the contractor Salini company
Yeah.
and take the issue to the United Nations.
Yeah.
So what is your comment on this?
Now I think this is inappropriate time to raise this issue to the Security Council or to the UN, because especially, you know, the company that set up the Cyprian Dam is an Italian company. And this Italian company part from the Paris Club. This is not the right time to initiate such issue because they are member in the European Union.
Yes,
And you know the interaction between politics
you are
and
right.
economics.
It's a very
So
good point.
it is not a time to raise such issue. You have to wait until we set the Paris conference, and then you can talk about this issue. This is Italian firm, and it is a government.
This is a very good point.
Yeah.
It's not yet even it's not yet time to raise an issue with Ethiopia.
Yeah, definitely.
Ethiopia is everybody knows, we all know for quite a long time.
Yes.
The party of the regime and the present regime, that the benefit of Sudan from the dam,
Yeah.
the Renaissance Dam,
Yes.
is even greater than Ethiopia itself.
Yeah.
So we are benefiting. We are not losing anything. We are gaining. So we don't have to raise any issue with Ethiopia at this time.
Yeah, Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be fair towards this issue.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, not always to be biased.
No. Yes, you have to
Yeah,
cool it down.
To cool it down, yeah.
Okay, thank you, dear viewers, for being with us in the last 35 minutes about the important issue. Mainly the episode was on the Paris, the meeting of 17th and 18th for the economy of the country and the world institution, financial institution, which will help Sudan with the guidance of or support of America, it will definitely come out with something positive. And we touched just a little bit on the issue of the Ethiopian dam and its effect. And Dr. Professor Samani is saying that it's not yet time because these people are, it will be in Paris Club, so we don't have to make waves. Thank you, dear viewers, for being with us, and we hope to see you next week on the different issue. Bye.